Tonight, a frustrated milk bar owner bans black teenagers to stop intimidating gangs of thieves. A respected off-duty policeman hit and killed on a bike ride with his daughter. Murder mystery after a man's body is found at an apartment block. Also millions raised for the Royal Children's Hospital, and there's more to come tonight. And the toddler's bath time that turned into a 5-hour ordeal.
Live from our Melbourne headquarters, this is 7 News with Peter Mitchell.
Good evening. A milk bar owner has put up a sign banning black teenagers from his store because he's furious with gangs of intimidating thieves. He's come under fire for being racist, but he says enough is enough.
For one man, this is a sign of the times. For others, it's a throwback to a shameful era of bigotry. This is what sparked the controversial sign in a Melton milk bar. 8 dark-skinned youths enter the shop. As some menace the store owner, others shamelessly begin stealing items from the shelves. A group surrounds the counter as others help themselves to whatever they choose. The store owner arms himself with what appears to be a golf club. Eventually, the group is ushered out. No items are paid for. The store owner then put the sign up in frustration.
Always a lot of time stealing come here, so very hungry.
And there was some understanding from locals.
It's not good. I can understand why he's done it. He is a shop owner. It's his business. It's his livelihood.
The store owner says the sign was an impulsive reaction to this morning's confrontation, one of about 20 similar incidents he's endured over the past 2 years. He didn't, though, anticipate the outrage it would generate.
A lot of time, so very angry. Yes, always black person. Yeah, young boy after play soccer.
This afternoon, the sign was taken down. The debate it has generated, though, will linger far longer. Brendan Roberts, 7 News.
An off-duty policeman who was on a morning bike ride with his daughter has been hit and killed by a ute. Pakenham father of 5, Sergeant Ken Rich, was a popular and respected member of the force.
The tragic aftermath of an early morning bike ride for a father and his daughter.
She went to his aid and she provided him with care at the scene in terms of providing CPR until the ambulance service arrived.
Paramedics continued to work for an hour on the police sergeant as another daughter rushed to the scene to be with her sister. She was cycling on the Prince's Highway in front of her dad when a driver tried to overtake. The ute's side mirror hitting the off-duty policeman. The sergeant had worked here at the Narre Warren Police Station since it opened more than 20 years ago. He joined the force as a cadet in 1980 and was not only regarded as a good leader, but a great friend to all he worked with.
He was in his mid-50s, certainly in the twilight of his policing career, looking forward to retirement, looking forward to spending time with his wife and children.
The station's flag now at half-mast to remember a loving colleague, husband and father.
Road trauma, it doesn't discriminate.
Investigators are still to determine if charges will be laid. Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
A car with a couple and a baby on board has plunged off a cliff in the Loch Valley in the Yarra Ranges. The woman was trapped for more than an hour before being winched to safety. The man suffered a wrist injury and thankfully the baby wasn't hurt. A murder investigation's underway after the discovery of a man's body at an apartment block in Melbourne's southeast. He may have been struck with a weapon in the garden of the Notting Hill complex.
We believe the man has been assaulted in the garden area. At this point of time, we believe a weapon has been used.
The victim is described as Asian, in his 20s or 30s. And a body has been found after a unit fire in Preston. The home was well alight when fire crews arrived. It took them more than 20 minutes to extinguish the blaze. The cause is being investigated. Victorians are digging deep for the Royal Children's Hospital Good Friday appeal, helping to raise millions of dollars. The day is also bringing a smile to the faces of sick children as they enjoy visits from some of their favourite stars.
A mild and sunny autumn morning got the appeal off to a very good start.
We're giving you 10, they're full. Thank you, sir.
Young faces led the way.
Give that they may grow.
Go for it, guys!
As families enjoyed some tasty Easter treats, guilt-free for a great cause.
The plan today is to raise as much money as we can for the Royal Children's Hospital.
The convention centre was transformed into a children's wonderland with plenty of fun and face painting and some early anatomy lessons in the intensive bear unit.
Go give him the full dose of the medicine, Ava. That's really good because we want Popcorn to get better.
We've got over 1,200 students here from the University of Melbourne, really out to support the Children's Hospital and to support the kids of Victoria.
Over in the wards, tiny fans were meeting their favourite stars and football players.
It's a lot of fun. It's obviously a huge amount of activity.
Even state leaders.
What's your favourite pet?
Favourite pet?
Yeah.
We've got 3 cats at our house.
As the Premier and his family delivered a welcome gift.
Parents think and know that this is a very special place.
On this, both sides of politics agreed.
We've got to rally around this day, support the hospital, do everything we can for the kids who are here.
The support of the Good Friday appeal allows Royal Children's Hospital not just a good hospital, but a great children's hospital.
For that reason, at this auction, the higher the price, the better.
At $627,500, this home is sold!
An appeal on this scale simply wouldn't be possible without a team of dedicated volunteers. This year, more than 100,000 people dedicated their time and their talents to the cause.
Today is my 50th year helping out, but it gets bigger and bigger every year.
And it's far from over, with stars lining up for tonight's concert and the phone lines open for donations until midnight.
Dig deep. Dig deep.
Christy Mayer, 7 News.
And sporting history has just been made with the first AFL match played on Good Friday. A crowd of more than 40,000 watched the Bulldogs defeat the Kangaroos by 3 points at Etihad Stadium, helping raise funds for the Royal Children's Hospital.
It's only taken 120 years and here it finally is.
So here we go, Good Friday footy.
The first AFL game on Good Friday, once a religious taboo, considered sacrilege on a Christian holy day.
I think it's wonderful for Melbourne and a children's hospital.
And from the 40,000 plus crowd at the historic Kangaroos Bulldogs game, the fans have embraced it.
And I think it should go all right.
$5 from every ticket goes to the Royal Children's Hospital Good Friday appeal.
And it'll mean more money for the Royal Children's Hospital, and there's no better cause.
I've never in the past been a fan of Good Friday footy, but if it works today, then we'll see how it goes.
But some say the day should be left alone.
I would like to think that for one day in the year you could not have football.
Other sporting codes like rugby league and soccer have played games on Good Friday for years, but the AFL has always stood aside, respectful of both religion and the Good Friday appeal.
They can come to church in the morning and go to football in the afternoon.
But now the game is part of the sporting calendar and the appeal. Hopefully a victory for both. Brendan Donahue, 7 News.
Thousands of Victorians have attended church services for the holiest day of the Christian calendar. People from all denominations took part in the city's annual Way of the Cross to commemorate Christ's journey.
It's lovely to be able to walk through the streets of your city and on this one day of the year in a sense of experiencing the city in a different way and having this act of witness.
The walk was followed by a special service at St Paul's Cathedral. It was a long night for a Kew East family when a toddler got his finger stuck down the bath plug hole. Firefighters worked for more than 5 hours to free the little boy.
Bath time at the Canty house was a little crowded last night. 3 family members in the tub and 9 firefighters packed into the room to rescue a single wayward finger.
Put my finger into the drain plug.
The family was getting ready for an Easter trip to Albury when 3-year-old Tom wedged his finger in the drain. Mum Christine tried to ease it out with baby oil, but the digit just wouldn't budge.
I thought this was an urban myth. I didn't think this actually happened.
As firefighters arrived to try their hand, Tom was kept occupied, propped up by pillows and distracted by his favourite movie. The county's bathtub proved challenging for firefighters as the bolts had rusted in place. They were forced to cut the pipe to lift the drain, all the while comforting little Tom.
They told him before they were going to do anything and they were really kind.
He only cried like twice or 3 times in the whole 6 or 5 hours.
A lengthy ordeal for a little finger. Jodie Lee, 7 News.
Young parents who ran away from a hospital with their newborn baby have revealed why they did it. That's next on 7 News. Also, dozens killed as the US drops the mother of all bombs. And Syria's shock claim child actors staged the chemical attack. Teenage parents who spent a night on the run with their newborn baby have revealed why they did it. The 15-year-old mother and her 14-year-old boyfriend told 7 News they were worried they would lose their daughter.
2 teenagers struggling to understand why they've been separated from their newborn daughter.
I don't know what I've done wrong, and me and Jada will be awesome for her.
15-year-old Jennifer Morrison gave birth to Aria 4 days ago. Her 14-year-old fiancé Jaden Lavender hasn't left their side.
Now she's my pride and joy. Like, as soon as I saw her, I was like, she looks exactly how I did when I was a baby.
The new parents today explained why they ran away from Nepean Hospital in the middle of the night. Police say they weren't breaking the law, but this couple knew what they were doing was wrong, but was scared their baby would be taken and felt they had to hide.
We went into Kmart and I brought a tent of vehicles, a 4-man tent.
I agree, it wasn't smart.
They were eventually found late yesterday, but Jaden and Jennifer haven't seen Aria since.
I thought that I would wake up and see her, but I don't, and it really hurts.
Ashley Brown, 7 News.
US fighters have dropped the biggest non-nuclear bomb, nicknamed the mother of all bombs, near the Afghan-Pakistan border. Nearly 40 Islamic State militants were killed in the attack that targeted hidden tunnels and caves.
This was another very, very successful mission.
Analysts say the blast was also a show of force for North Korea, which is believed to be planning a nuclear weapons test this weekend. Syria's president says he never ordered a chemical attack on his own people. Bashar Assad even claims images of children struggling to breathe were faked by actors.
The story is not convincing. We don't know whether those dead children, were they dead at all?
More than 80 people died in the attack, and British scientists have confirmed a sarin-type gas was used. Tim Watson is standing by at Etihad Stadium, and Tim, we waited a long time for Good Friday footy, but that was a rip snorter.
Yes, it was, Mitch. It was an absolute beauty. The Bulldogs and Kangaroos played out an instant classic, and it all came down to the final kick as Lindsay Thomas had the chance to be the hero. Also coming up, an old favourite returns to Carlton as Alistair Clarkson comes under fire. Mac Horton rewrites the record books at the National Swim Championships. And Monkey See, Monkey Do, as World Tennis unearths a new star.
It's the kids' most glamorous night of the year. The Good Friday Appeal Super Show brings you all your favourite stars performing their biggest hits to help raise money for the kids at the Royal Children's Hospital. The Good Friday Appeal Super Show starts next, live on 7.
Welcome back to Etihad Stadium, where good footy looks like it's here to stay. The Kangaroos and Bulldogs played out an absolute thriller in front of more than 42,000 fans. The Premiers were 5 goals down in the third quarter before they staged a mighty comeback, which almost came unstuck with the last kick of the game.
North Melbourne fought for 30 years to get Good Friday football, while the Bulldogs were also enjoying their place in the Easter spotlight. It was tough going early as Lindsay Thomas and Tom Boyd found out.
That'll teach him to take easy marks.
But there's nothing wrong with Marcus Bontempelli's skills.
He strides through majestically and kicks the goal.
Boyd's evening was done and the Kangaroos took an 11-point lead into half-time.
And Turner's kicked the goal. They've got a break.
Ben Brown booted the first 2 goals of the third.
He's kicked 3, he's kicked 4, and that's our father in front.
North led by 29 points before the Premiers rallied, the Dogs slamming on 5 goals in a row.
Can Bobby do it? Can Bobby do it? He can.
And they were within 2 points at the final change as the third man up rule caused more drama. There were 5 lead changes in a pulsating last quarter.
Simpkin, McRae! He's got it, I reckon. Goldstein one-handed it, recovered it, little kick, spun the wrong way, soccer off the ground by Simpkin.
Travis Cloak finished his 250th on the bench with suspected broken ribs. The Dogs home in a thriller as Lindsay Thomas squandered a chance to win it on the siren.
Shot, and it's not going to be a goal. In his 200th, a classic.
Luke Schneider, 7 News.
Carlton coach Brendan Bolton has put the heat on his players to back up from last week's upset win over Essendon. And on the eve of their clash with the Suns, the Blues welcomed an old favourite back to the club.
An early Easter treat for some budding Blues. Kick to kick with their Carlton heroes, organised spontaneously by Brendan Bolton, the coach with perhaps a Good Friday feed on his mind.
I'd love to be tucking into a crayfish or a few flathead fillets from Tassie, but anyway, I'll try some of the seafood from over this way.
The Silvani name is as popular as ever, but another Carlton cult figure can still pull a crowd. Brendan Favola had some tricks, and so does debutant Zach Fisher, who will wear Fev's old number.
50 years ago, number 25 was Jezelenko, and we know Fev also was a good kick, so let's hope he has a reputation as being a really good kicker for our side in time.
A winless start to 2017 has Alistair Clarkson in the hot seat. Once a mentor to Clarkson at Port Adelaide, Mark Williams has implored the 4-time premiership coach to end his reign at Waverley this year, although his troops are standing by their long-time leader. John Worsfold gave the Easter Bunny a fresh twist.
Come with Easter gifts. We're healthy here at Essendon.
I see.
So I've only brought you fruit.
There were no gifts for the Bombers playing group this week, with their coach still stinging from their upset loss to Carlton.
We just felt our effort wasn't at the required level last week, so we've certainly addressed that with each other.
In a show of solidarity following the racism row which marred last week's showdown, Essendon's Anthony McDonald-Tippin-Woody will meet Adelaide star Eddie Betts in the middle of Adelaide Oval to toss the coin before tomorrow night's match. Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
Melbourne's Mac Horton created history on the final night of competition at the National Swimming Titles. Horton easily won the 1500 metres. He's the first swimmer since Grant Hackett to complete the freestyle treble, winning the 2, 4 and 1500. But Big Mac was almost upstaged by 16-year-old Tasmanian Ariane Titmus, who set a personal best, winning the women's 400 metres freestyle. And move over Roger Federer, because world tennis has a new superstar. This is 6-year-old monkey Ricky, who hails from Japan and has become an internet smash hit. Ricky's 2 biggest weapons are his serve and his volley, and unlike the few professionals on tour, Ricky always keeps his temper in check. Mitch, and on that note, that's sport. A lot of fans here still.
We sort of get what you mean, Tim. Thanks anyway. To last night's Powerball draw now, and the numbers you needed were 5, 34, 26, 1, 23 and 33. The Powerball number was 10. Jane Bunn is next with her forecast for the rest of Easter, and Jane, it's looking dry.
Indeed, Mitch, and slowly warming up. I'll have all the details after the break. Hello again. It has been a cool and mostly cloudy day with showers over eastern suburbs. The city started on 13 and only reached 18 under that grey sky. It is now sitting on 15 and it will be dry for the rest of the night. We had a band of cloud and drizzly showers passing through. It produced up to 3 millimetres as it crossed the east and 7 at Phillip Island. But there was nothing at all in any western rain gauge or in the city too. This band crossed southern Victoria but didn't make it up and over the ranges, so that sunshine persisted anywhere north of the Divide. A weakening cold front clipped Victoria on its way out to the Tasman Sea. A tropical low lies off the northwest coast, while a large high pressure system controls most of the nation's weather. That high moves back over us tomorrow, pushing the next front to the south. Then the high sits out to our east from Monday, letting it warm up once again, while we watch what happens with the rain from that tropical low. This may reach us later Wednesday or on Thursday, but it's not as heavy as it was looking yesterday. And you've heard it here first, it's not as cold anymore. It dries up to start next weekend, but there may be some more rain after that. Around the nation tomorrow, a morning shower in Sydney, otherwise it is generally dry. We're 24 in Adelaide, 28 in Perth. To Victoria, areas of morning fog, then a dry and cool to mild day with light winds. Sunshine does continue over the north, and it slowly returns to the south. Closer in, cold and foggy in outer suburbs at first, then a dry day. It is cloudy in the morning, sunny in the afternoon, a degree or two warmer than today. We drop to 9 to start in the city. It reaches 20 as that sunshine slowly returns. To the 8-day outlook, we stay dry for the rest of the Easter weekend. Fair bit of cloud comes in. We warm up next week, then a bit of a change late in the week. So sunshine returning tomorrow, top of 20. Mitch.
Thanks, Jane. And that's the way it is this Good Friday, the 14th of April. Thanks for your company. Stay with 7 as we head back to the Royal Children's Hospital Good Friday appeal. I'm heading back there myself. See you later tonight.